Welcome, welcome, welcome to the most amazing day that I always waiting for this day. I don't know about you, but I always waiting for my favorite day, Monday. That is today. And since we are celebrating the holidays this week, that's what I'm wearing a Christmas hat.
So nice.
So welcome to the C-Suite Leadership Journey. My name is Candy Winden, and I help leaders build a candle culture where they can attract and retain talent. And not just that, where they join to the Leadership Coaching Academy, they will be able to master their communication. They will be able to become an influencer. And what is the most incredible is improving team performance. But today, I wanted you to give you a little heads up of the guest speaker that we have today. And he is incredible. He is also an immigrant like me and somebody who is happy, who smiles, who has a lot of gifts today. And he's going to give you a little bit of good nuggets. So make sure that you have pen and paper. And before we start, make sure that you like, share, comment, and also subscribe if you are watching this in YouTube. So make sure that you have all this because you are right now being equipped into one of the best and most incredible speakers that we have in the whole world. I just say it, no, just say it. So now let's welcome Kunal.
Thank you so much, Candy. That is wonderful. I know your energy is unmatched. I can match your energy. Well, thank you very much for inviting me on your show. I was so sorry I was late. So first of all, I apologize. And if we have some live viewers, I am really sorry. I'm a little bit late, but I'm here. So as Candy says, I'm an immigrant. I moved to this country 21 years ago. I started my own company. She wanted to find out what was the motivation behind starting my own company. But I tell you to be the truth, there was no motivation. I had no job. So that's the only thing I did. And me and my wife, we both started a company together. It's called PracticeForces. One of our friends, he was doctor. So by default, you know, in United States, just to give you a little number, every fourth doctor is an immigrant. Either mostly they're Indians or from somewhere else. So our default choice was coming to Florida, basically to do something in healthcare. We started doing medical billing for doctors' offices. I started a medical transcription company. And I'm talking about year 2003. And after that, we started working in doctors' offices. I used to travel to each doctor's office. And at that time, there were dictaphones. People used to transcribe. There was no EMR, no electronic medical records. Everything was pen and paper, or these doctors used to dictate. So some doctors used to dictate into the tapes, but I was always fond of technology. So one of the questions you had is, what did you do different? I introduced a lot of technology at a very, very small level in doctors' offices, because at that time they had no idea about digital. Internet speed was on dial-up connection, so that speed was very low. I started setting up their internet, their routers. I still remember those Verizon's small routers, which used to go into modems, and I used to do those things. So I was like their IT person, I was their dictaphone pickup person, I was their courier. I was almost everything which goes wrong in a doctor's office, I was there to fix it. And that's how I started my career. I still have those clients. So one of the questions you ask, what did you do differently? What should people do? And one of the things which I really, really admire and I see, which I actually learned here in the United States, it's a culture of United States, is customer service. No matter, I mean, how somebody could be nasty, unacceptable to you, but you always smile, as you said, and try to solve the problem. If you cannot solve the problem, be honest and tell that they have to find somebody else, or you help them finding somebody else. That is the customer service.
You just touched something very particular, because I have few clients on myself. Now we are a little bit off topic, but basically they were asking me, Candy, is there any way that I can have few accounts, the accounting department, to answer a phone call? Because if I have questions, about how to make a payment and everything. And I said, well, the process in my organization is that you must send an email and we will reply for the email. And then if you have any trouble, you just contact me directly. But the person is still probably unhappy about it. So we are trying to revamp and see how we can improve the customer service, like you said, the uniqueness of giving that experience to our clients. But we are growing in this space. So basically what in my mind was, I know that the customer is always right. I know the customer always wants to taking care of things, but you cannot let others dictate of what you need to do in your organization, right? So that is the things that is a little bit of topic.
Stop right here. So sometimes it really depends. In my view, there are three different type of organizations. I learned it. One are the organizations which are technology organization, right? They have some kind of solid technology which people use. Another organization is purely services based. They provide services, coaching, institutional training, all of that stuff. The third and most important thing, they are integrators. And what is that is those integrators are kind of middlemen. Their job is to keep the problem and the solution and integrate them where they become the bridge. So I call myself an integrator. I don't build dictaphones. I don't do transcription myself. I don't do anything. I don't have phone service. I don't have internet service. But I sit somewhere in between and facilitate all of them so that it can become a solution for my clients. So sometimes when you have those things, what happens, these clients, they have some question in their mind and they call you, or they send you an email, or they reach on your website thinking that you might have a solution for that. Now that thought came to their mind so quick that they can't wait until that email goes out, salespeople reach out to them, then you give them the estimate. By that time, their problem either going to be solved or somebody else is going to fix it for them. So by the time, so lead generation is extremely, extremely important. I have seen companies where the CEO's job is to generate the leads or answer the lead. Once the lead is nurtured, then the rest of the sales team comes and then they do the rest of the things, which is the easier part. But the toughest part, most important, and because you can only understand what goes in the customer's mind. And somebody told me a very good quote, I still remember it. If you can see the problem from customer's eyes, if you can see the problem from the customer's eyes, you would know what he buys.
Wow.
If you
just make note about that. So let's say it again, Kunal. Let's say that again, because that is like gold nugget dropping off in here, guys. So make sure that you like it. So say it again.
If you read the problem in customer's eyes, you would know what he buys. And that's all you need to know. Because once you know what he buys, you have a solution. And that's where and for that, you really need to listen to him from the day one, because most important problems, people are able to communicate when they are in pain. Why do people go to the doctor, right? People don't go, they don't go to the doctor every month just to see him or just to say him hello. I mean, maybe some, those who are the patients of depression or maybe psychiatrists. But most problem goes to the doctor when they're in pain, right? And when they are in pain, and if they have no gain, they're not going to show their pain to anybody. So no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Another quote, no pain, no gain. So that is awesome, Kunal. This is amazing. So let's talk about you a little bit more. You just introduced yourself.
That's how I started my business, mostly in healthcare IT. And we evolved over a period of time, because what happens within 5-6 years, we realize that transcription is not going to stay. These doctors are going to jump on EMR. So in 2008, Obama Care was launched, and that became literally a blessing for us. And I tell everybody, if you really wants to win a technology business or healthcare business, or even education, one thing which is extremely important is how to read public policy. Public policy defines, or public policy is the most fundamental pillar of innovation. Public policy. So when Obamacare was launched, a lot of companies like us just suddenly disappeared overnight because they launched EMR, electronic medical records. They said every doctor, you put EMR in your office and remove transcription. They don't want anybody to dictate or do transcription. So they started giving incentives. Obama said, I will give you $12,000. You put a computer in your office and start using EMR. Doctors started doing it within 4 years. So we had a choice at that time, accept that as a positive change and do something else. So we started medical billing and we elevated ourselves. We started installing EMR into doctor offices. We started providing consulting services into how to install a good EMR. We installed several servers. We became Dell partners. We became Microsoft partners. Because for those 4 or 5 years, our focus was purely how to get advantage out of that public policy. Obamacare completely become a healthcare IT firm. So public policy is very important. No matter
Oh my God.
you said Leadership Academy, things are changing. Did you ever think that people would do coaching like this on Zoom?
No, this was like literally thank you for, well, actually, I was doing it because when I started my business in 2015, I started with Beachbody and I was coaching people to lose weight and, drinking the shake, and I was doing exercise. Most of the people know me because of that, because I was all over the place, doing exercise and with bikini on the beach and all those things. And then in 2018, I transitioned to the leadership coaching because I feel like that was when the pain points, when I was doing this coaching with people one-on-one, they were like, oh my God, but I had this issue. And then I started asking questions. So in my mind was like, what do I need to do or learn so I can help them more? So that's when everything started. So yes, I was doing this through Zoom because we would have to do like challenges in Facebook, challenges and WhatsApp, and we were using different applications to do the challenges. Right now, we continue doing that. Yeah. And it's amazing how the leadership coaching right now, we're doing Facebook challenges and we are bringing people together. And even though there's a misconception, I don't want to be on Facebook, that's a personal. I feel like, no, everything is business. Everything you do is selling.
That is true. Actually, I lately realized that in last 1 year, power of social media. It has been always underestimated. Most people relate social media and they either try to judge you or they try to underestimate the power of social media. Either they say, oh, you show everything on social media, your entire life is public. Well, it's good. You know what I'm doing at any point of time, right? You have an opportunity to judge everybody. Now everybody knows everybody. You know, on your Facebook, if there are 200 friends, probably 100 of them you have never met in your life. But you know everything all about their lives. You know, it tells a story about, my father was a politician in India. He was a social worker more than a politician. He used to remember, I'm talking about like 20 years ago. I mean, yeah, I left 20 years ago, but he left, he died in 2015. So still, when he was in the age of 75, he used to remember the phone numbers, at least 200 phone numbers by heart. Name and phone numbers. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, that's so hard. I
remember my daughter's phone number. Forget about. Now, that is the change in society. But how did I know about you? You know, I was sitting and I was checking and I said, oh my God, I forgot we have an 8 o'clock thing. And my phone was not with me, so I did not get the reminder. And then my email is at my office. But guess what? I sent you a message on Facebook. And then I found you on WhatsApp. So I sent you a message, send me the Zoom link. So how convenient that has become the life. So I realized over a period of time, if you provide convenience, there are only two things. Either a great value of service. Value means in terms of money, savings, real efficiency, or something solid, or convenience to your customer. These are the only two things which sells. There's nothing else, right? Why would somebody buy your product or your coaching unless he is going to gain something in his life? Why would people do your beach body workout? Because they want to look like you. That's why the girls follow you.
That was me before.
They still want to look like you, right? Why do people correlate when they see somebody on social media? They want to imitate that person. They want to be like that person. That's why. So that is the power of social media, which is, I still feel, hugely underestimated. Well, you are mute. You know that?
Yeah, so we talk about billing, customer service, now social media. Let's talk about leadership. That's why we are here.
You look at my library behind you. The library exists for last 20 years. I was reading a book just before you came, and I was thinking in that book that, I'm going to quote this, and from there it came to my mind, oh my God, I have a session. Did I miss it already? So I was reading a book, and the book is called, let me show you what it is called. It's called Master Your Motivation. Master Your Motivation. Master Your Motivation. They have about 823 reviews. Looks like it is going to be a good book. So I'm going to read it and we'll talk about it. This is written by Thibaut Mirasi.
Yeah, so it seems that we're going to have a second section talking about the book.
Books. So yes, literature is very important. Books are very important. I normally read our real old Indian mythological literature because I always miss that out. I never last 20 years, it was always working, because, in this country, if we don't work, no money, no pain, no gain.
So Kunal, let me ask you a question. So you have been a leader for the last 20 years. So when do you actually step into becoming a business owner?
From the very beginning, I never had a job. In 1999 for 4 years, I did something similar. I was working for Henry Ford Hospitals, but from India. So I was doing outsourcing for them, but I used to communicate. I used to travel between India and Henry Ford is in Detroit. So I used to travel there. But after that, then we decided, I had a 10-month-old son, my wife, and we all three moved here. At that time, that was clear that we are going to start our own company.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So what do you do, Kunal, to keep you track in your leadership skills and the things that you need to know to be a successful leader?
So I meet a lot of people. Networking is very powerful medium of you connecting with the world. And you should not worry about whether you have to network with certain set of people or subject matter experts, or you have certain level. I can network with 10-year-old. I can network with 100-year-old. I can network with 5-year-old boy, girl, and I can dance with them, and I can dance with 40-year-old woman. It's literally, I just love people. I just sincerely, genuinely love networking. I don't care whether I'm going to get any benefit out of it or not, because it's all about relationship building.
Yes.
You gain a little bit, you lose a lot, because what happens, not everybody matches your energy. So when not everybody matches your energy, those who matches your energy will stay with you, but most people will fall off gradually. So you would end up with only very few genuine people in your life. And that is what happened in the last 20 years. Most of my relationships came out of these networking meetings.
Mhm.
And I have gained tremendously, much more than I have given back out of those relationships, whether it was ideas, it was solutions. Like I was introduced to WhatsApp very late. And somebody in my networking meeting 10 years ago introduced even WhatsApp to me. WhatsApp exists for like 15 years. I was not aware of WhatsApp for first 5 years. Facebook, I was aware very beginning, but I came to WhatsApp very late. I came to Skype even very late. So a lot of these ideas, even a lot of our business, my EMR business or billing business, what we do, we have 400 employees, and most of them are in India, but it is also our company, and I'm traveling next month there. So think about it. If I don't gain these communication skills, so that was a big challenge for me, because that was not my primary language, speaking English. So for first few years, it was a big challenge. It's still a challenge. I mean, it's very difficult sometimes to match, somebody who is Native American or somebody whose primary language is English compared to ourselves. So yeah, but ultimately, networking themselves intellectually or elevate their business. I think they should just continue doing networking without even thinking what somebody will think, what somebody will not think. Doesn't matter. Ultimately,
Yes.
what matters is the convenience. As I said, your convenience, your customer's convenience.
Yeah, that's really powerful, because that's funny that you actually think that networking is a really good skill to have as a leader, and the other one is communication. I always say communication is the number top 2. Why? Because every leader has different priorities depending on where they are, and the number 1 can be different, right? So, but the number 2 is communication. If a leader doesn't master how to communicate with others, or how to speak with others, how to connect. That's how so simple it is. And people just forget about it. That's the most incredible fear that they have, especially when I went this past Saturday, I went to the T2 event because they were giving a free home for a veteran. And I saw 2 speakers, they announcing, I am nervous, I don't know if I want to do this. They were actually reading the script. And this communication is the most uncomfortable thing for anyone, because they feel like I cannot do this. And actually, it was me before. You're not gonna. We have an accent. We have an accent. Some words comes right, some words doesn't come right. So it's like, oh my God, could I do this? So that is a challenge. But the moment that I took ownership is when I move forward, and I feel like, let's do it.
My father was a very good orator. I always used to ask him, and I actually wrote a book on him. I wanted to show you something. This is my book. I wrote my father's picture, an author, Kunal Jain. I wrote this book in 2 years ago. So this is a good book. It's published on Amazon also. It talks about all of his social entrepreneurship skills. And one of them was his oratory skills, as you said, communication. But that was in our native language, which was Hindi. So for me, it was, and I always, my schooling system and education, our primary language was not English. So it was always a challenge for us to first think about the words, then grammar, and then come up with something and translate it. Now, in last 15 years, by God's grace, it had just become from the system, talking to our kids, talking to the clients, talking to, communicating everybody. But it's still, my father used to say that communication comes from your heart. It doesn't come from your mind.
Yes.
That's where, when you said that people who read it from the script, that is, they're reading either from their mind or they're reading from somebody else's mind, whoever written the script.
Yes.
So yes, you are right. So scripted thoughts would never be as apt as if it would have come from your heart. Because your heart knows what exactly you want to say. Whether you can communicate it or not, that depends on your own auditory skills.
You just still, this is so much gold. Make notes because Kunal is dropping so much gold. Please make comments like asking this guy so many questions because he's mine. And trust me, when I attract somebody so bad, it's because they are like me. So that's what I want to ask. Like, Kunal, you gotta come. I just know you like a few weeks ago. So it's not like I know you for 2-3 years, like all the people that I have bring into this incredible journey as a leader. But honestly, Kunal, you have
lead from your heart, right behind your thing.
yes, because that is my, I would say, my to go. You
Yeah.
know, basically my vision as a coach leader is that you have to go from a vision to action. But for that transition, the only gap that I notice is like, okay, you have a vision that you know where they're gonna get there. But the beautiful and the meaningful way to do it is by leading from your heart, because that's where everything is gonna flow. You're gonna love people, like you said, you love people no matter what, even if they hate you, even if they kick you out from the picture. That it happened to me like 2 days ago. I said, Candy, get out of the way. You're not a part of the picture.
It's okay. As long as that picture looks beautiful without me, I'm okay.
I'm not sure. That is completely fine. It's your phone. So I respect that. But I still love people no matter what they do to me, if they like me or not. So it is important. So right now, when I ask you, Kunal, what has been the #1 challenge that you have since you started your business until now? What has been the most challenging moment, and what do you do to overcome that?
So, and it may differ, but for me, what happens as an immigrant, and then when the communication, as you said, English is not your primary language, over a period of time, what happens, you can take your business from A to K, okay? But from K to Z, it is either a plateau, that business will continue to be like that, or you can take it further if you are exceptionally well-oiled machine or well-oiled leader. Now, for first-timers like myself, or my wife like me, or anybody who are first-timers, we have never done this before. Most entrepreneurs struggle after K. They can build their business up to a certain level, but if they don't get good people after that, or partners, or PE firm, or somebody who has done that before, and they know the secret sauce so from 1 to 1 million, 1 to 10 million, you can take your business. From 10 million to 100 million, that is a tedious task. Then you need good people in your team. You need people whom you can trust, and these people should also trust your vision, because if their vision does not match with your vision, they might be extremely smart graduates from Harvard, and you may not be a graduate from Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
But still, for 1 to 10 million, you would have been following your vision. And if these people cannot match with your vision, either that 10 million will even go down the trash. They can, convert that 10 million to 1 million or dollar. You have seen a lot of these companies were bought out by PE companies, right? They go bad. They go, belly up. Why? Because the vision or the mission of these people who come on board does not match with the vision which founders saw. But at the same time, you also see huge examples where a PE company buy out a small business, and from $10 million, they take it to $1 billion company.
Yes.
They are well-oiled machine. They have people, they have processes, they have, technology, they have connections, networking, money, everything. So that is where the biggest challenge comes from. And especially when your business is as mature as yourself, and then you have to figure out, or you have to decide whether you want to continue what you're doing and keep doing as a small business, keep running it as a small business, or you want to take a next leap. If you want to take a next leap, then you have to really trust other people who are much smarter than yourself, but at the same time your vision, your mission, your goals, objectives, everything aligns.
Yeah, that's completely true. Trust is actually one of the things that is in my signature system for my model that I put people into the Leadership Academy. And because most of the people that they come to me for help is because they like, Candy, I have a team, but it sounds like trust is not 100% there. And it comes like, perceptions, it comes that, and the other thing that we shouldn't do that is part of the foray agreement, do not assume anything, just ask.
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, trust is important, it's super critical. And you just mentioned something super important, Kunal. So you mentioned that you have 400 people that you manage. How do you handle that? What is this structure? How do you, as a
I'm
leader?
available and accessible to everybody. I'm accessible to the world. People send me messages. They send me messages on Instagram. We have a CRM in both our company messages. We have a portal. Yet we do have people sometimes who fall off. We do have transitions. We do have people who get terminated. We do have people who get fired. We do have problems just like any other business. Every business has the problems. But is it a happy team? By and large, I just morning I had an hour conversation with all of them. By and large, we have people who have been working with me for last 15 years, 20 years. Some of them are from the day one when I started my business. I feel very proud because I saw their kids going, to colleges now. And throughout they have an extreme sense of gratitude and, for me and for the business, because then it becomes pretty much the goal of their life that they're going to retire with this business.
Yeah, that's awesome. So my follow-up question for you, there is always, every leader has come with different packages. We are all sons of givers, stubborn leaders, others are dictators, others don't even care. So what would be the top 2 strengths as a leader that anyone you believe they must have?
Top 2. Well, we talked about communication. And communication, I tell you one thing, so some people say that, communication, everybody takes communication in their different ways. If I'm speaking my heart out, does not mean I am speaking like a dumb person and telling everything to everybody. I'm still using my mind somewhere to control my tongue, how much I have to speak, how much I have to hide, whether it is useful, not useful. So I'm balanced. Some people try to take advantage of their communication skill set. Some people call them diplomatic. Some people call them refined. There are better words. Some people call them, oh, he's very good in speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That is not important, how good you are in speaking. What is important is how the other person is interpreting you.
This is a key. Make a note.
So if I'm talking to you, in my mind, I may be able to speak out my heart out loud. I may be able to speak out 10 different things I want to talk about. But what is more important is what is your mind and heart is grasping and taking it inside. Because if you are not able to take that inside and consume it and digest it, sit on it, then my whole communication is of no use. It may be good for me, to boost my personal ego. Hey, I made a 10 minutes good speech. I'm very happy. Well, what did the other person get? You don't know. And sometimes that happens. A lot of time this happens when people who have extremely good English, extremely good kind of intercommunication, or there are some smart words for it. I can't even, tell those words, but people have those kind of skill set, which is good. I mean, they're very good, very refined, very diplomatic. They can convince anybody for anything, but in their own mind. They probably don't know that their customer will listen to them for 30 minutes. Best example is you go to the mall, right?
Mhm.
So you see all those little shops around the mall, which is like outside, small shops. Somebody is selling you perfume, somebody is selling you the iPhone cover, somebody is selling you something, $10, $10. Do you buy from everybody? You don't. But you do stop by and use the free perfume, check the phone, look at the shoe, something new, you spend time because you like it, but you are not convinced that you are their customer or not. So they have a good salesman skills. They're very good salesmen. They can present very well. They can hold your nerves down there, but they could not convert you as a customer.
So what is the secret sauce to convert somebody as a customer?
That person goes to Dillard's and that beautiful woman reads the mind. And she says, hey, gentlemen, this yellow looks great on you. This blue looks great on you. Or some handsome dude, he would show it to you. Oh my God, this red cap, you're looking like a Santa. And you are sold. Right there.
Candy Santa.
Right? Right there. They don't need to do anything else. One sentence, one thing works like a snap. I had a story, actually, I published it through this Thanksgiving, the entire, our Tampa International Mall, it was so crowded. I never buy very, expensive clothes just because it's not that I can't afford it. I just feel I would use that money somewhere else. I do a lot of charity, I do a lot of philanthropy. So, and my daughter was with me and we were standing this showroom called Louis Vuitton, right? And it was crowded. And I said, why people are going to that showroom? My daughter said, Dad, you should. I said, I want to buy shoes, honey. She said, Dad, it's going to take hours and hours before you would get to even see any shoes. It's just crowded. Thanksgiving shop. So I said, okay, what should we do? He said, Dad, go to Louis Vuitton. There may not be many people there. They don't give any discounts. I said, why would I go to a shop which does not give any discount on Thanksgiving holidays? Break.
That is so true. That is so true. That is so true because, it's like when you have, we have businesses, right? We have a low end and we have a high end. Right. So the low end, of course, everybody's gonna come, but the high end is just unique.
Well, I was surprised. They had a line. They were taking everybody's phone numbers. They were sending you messages. You have a waiting 15 minutes, 10 minutes. They have a very organized way of salesmanship. They had a beautiful girl. They all were wearing the same black. They were all looking gorgeous. And they offer you a free water bottle. You go in there and it is like a personal concierge sales girl for you, not for everybody else. So when that person has a time, they will come and take you inside, and they have a very limited amount of shoes, very limited number of pieces which you want to buy. So I said, I'm interested in a shoe. And it took me 30 minutes. I was not ready to buy. I mean, it's 10 times more expensive than really I normally buy. I don't buy these expensive shoes. But guess what? Within 30 minutes, I ended up buying one. So this is how it is. I mean,
you didn't want to buy it, but you end up buying it. So what is the lesson there as a leader? What is the lesson there?
Well, lesson is, I think is the same thing what I said in the very beginning. Whoever you talk to, whether he is your customer, I think there are two types of customers. I call them internal customer and external customers. Internal are your employees, your family, your kids, your girlfriends, boyfriends. They are your internal customer, but they are also your customer. Same way, just like external customer whom you want to sell the things. So if you keep the same communication level with both of them and let them decide, they would eventually, once you start seeing into their eyes, start seeing their pain problems, start solving it, they would start buying it. So that is the key, basically, for communication and for both internal, external, everywhere.
Oh my God, Kunal, you're bringing so much gold today. This is like a 101. I think it's like a 301 marketing and strategy class right now.
I have learned a lot. I have read a lot, actually. I've learned most of the things from different coaches, different times. I literally, I like, listening to people when I go into seminars and conferences, and I pick up these, nuggets, which I'm sharing with you. Basically, nothing is mine original, but I learned it, I remember it, and I'm sharing it with you. The second thing you ask is courage. And that courage comes, as you said, with your experience and how much you are beaten throughout the process. Because it's entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, I tell you. You are always single in this journey. You will never get support. You are always single in the journey of entrepreneurship. No matter you are married, you have a very nice wife, loving wife, spouse, your kids, but when you have to make decisions about your business for the benefit of your clients, for the benefit of your vendors, for the benefit of your employees, sometimes you have to take decisions which are logically right, may not be emotionally right.
Yeah.
And when you make those decisions, I have been very lucky. And I tell you, that's why I sometimes feel very lucky. I've been very lucky. I kept myself out of trouble most of the time. Sometimes maybe, but most of the time I was able to legal trouble, professional trouble, all kind of troubles. I was able to keep myself a little bit away. And my decisions were good even for my clients. We have a lot of clients who leaves us and then come back in a year or 2 years or 3 years period and saying that, you were right, what you were saying at that time, we did not realize, and we want you to do our billing again. It's very common, and we accept them because, as I said, my simple philosophy, I love everybody, no matter, people fall off for their own reasons, but you don't fall off from their lives because your reason is simple. You just love them. So if your reason is simply to love them, and their reason may be based on their circumstances, based on their decisions, based on what's going on in their lives, personal, professional, anything else. But at some point of time, when they would just run around the world, they will come back.
Yes, they will.
And that is what happens.
Yeah, it happens to me multiple times. They just want to leave. They feel like, no, can they let me? And their mind is like, they probably something more. But then when they go somewhere else, they don't have the experience that they have with us. And they feel like, hey, what are you up today? What programs do you have? Is any way they can help us? So yeah, it comes away. So the best way is to always, remember, leaders, you lead from your heart, do things from your heart, speak from your heart, because that is the key, that is the magic word. And that is what most people love and fill up. Like you said, they fill up, they don't know how to communicate, to connect with these incredible and beautiful people that we have around, because everyone is unique. They have their own experiences, but they are leaders, they are lonely, and the C-suite journey, they are completely learning. So the best way is to connect. And that's what the community that we have right now, we build that. I know people are struggling right now because of the holidays. I know people are probably shopping, doing things, but I'm sure that you're going to be watching this and going to be connecting with Kunal. But
watch it and they will love it.
And my last question, and you probably have read this, I hope you did, but you already have a book. So I'm going to ask you a different question. If you had to make a movie about yourself,
oh my God,
what will be the title and what will be the summary of the most impactful moment and the theme for the movie?
The theme for the movie would be, as I said, courage, because, and I would call, so I used to actually write in my resume at some point, daring entrepreneur, daring, D-A-R-I-N-G, a word. And then I said, it's just too much, like courage, courageous. So courageous coach, courageous coaching, courageous kind of, because my role has always been to be remembered as a person who can coach, and I can coach about anything which I have learned. And I don't feel shy about it, bragging about it. I call myself a shameless marketer. I have no problem marketing myself, my ideas. I mean, it's up to people to judge me, to accept it. If they like it, they will take it. Otherwise, there's a trash right there. Just listen it through it, listen it through it. I mean, it's very easy. So at some point, because what happens when it was not easy to leave one country, coming to another country, learn the language, start the business, and continue in that business and do the other activities, social activities. And, you know, I founded a organization here for entrepreneurs. It's called TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs. We have hundreds of members, and we just had a big show in India. 3,000 people attended it. So it just, how do you want to be remembered depends upon you. Some people, no matter how good you would do, there would be envies. There would be people who may not like it, who would always envy you. But largely, mostly, if you do good, you would find people to connect with you.
Yes, that's beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you, Kunal, for having, oh my God. Such an honor such an honor to have you here. And I thank you for saying yes for this, because I know your schedule is super busy. You are all over the place. And you're such a happy. I love you so much. So
thank you, Candy. That was such a beautiful smile. You were so welcoming when we met we have not met more than a month ago. We just met in few events. You have such such attractive personality. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for connecting, and happy to.
So how the audience who is watching right now, how they can connect with you if they need some help with billing or maybe some mentorship or something?
It's called PracticeForces.com for all medical billing. We give a quote estimated right there. But I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. They can go on my Facebook, they can see all of my social handles there. I have a Twitter called Son of India. So I'm very accessible anytime. You have all my connections there. Anybody can send me a message, connect, we can talk, we can be on phone. I'm more a phone person, so call me anytime. My direct number is there. I have no problem connecting with anybody.
And one more thing, he loves voting, so.
Yes.
So you want to connect there? Listen, just send a message.
Go out for voting, no problem. I wanted to take a big entrepreneur sport someday. Do idea camp there, idea boot camp.
Also, thank you so much, Kunal. I appreciate you. So right now we're just gonna close this. But before we close this, we're gonna give you a little bit video of the experience of the people who have been doing the challenge. So just remember, this is a challenge that is coming in November. So if you're ready to step out and do things in 2023, this is a really good moment. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And right now, just remember, live from your heart, because that's where the magic happens. And I will see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carly. Shout out to Candy.
Shout out to Candy.
And I just want to give a huge shout out to Candy.
Just completed the leadership.
This is a big shout out to Candy.
Doing this challenge in hopes of improving my communication style with my clients, me becoming a better leader and how to better serve those around me. So within 5 days, thanks to her expert guidance, I've had multiple breakthroughs. And, if you're on the fence of, hiring a coach, to help you take you and your business to the next level, or just improve your effectiveness as a leader, I want to encourage you to join Candy and her team. They're phenomenal and you won't regret it.
Before I started the course, I had very little knowledge on what the essence of leadership is. By the end of it, I can now go and reapply those skills I have learned back to the workforce. I would highly recommend Candy. She is an amazing leader, and her coaching is outstanding.
Just finished the Thrive as a Leader challenge, and it was amazing, guys. Before joining the challenge, I I wasn't a very competent leader. I wasn't someone who did know all the things and how to deal with the team and how to manage a team. As I finished the challenge, I felt so confident as a leader, and my abilities as a leader has increased, and I learned so much out of this course. So would I recommend the challenge? Hell yes.
Finished her Thrive as a Leader challenge, and before I was not sure when I lead my team what I can improve. I was sure that I can improve something, but I had really no idea what to improve and how. And now after the challenge, have so much more clarity about what I can do, but not only what I can do, only how I can do it. She shared so powerful frameworks. It was absolutely awesome, and I feel way more confident in leading my team, and I know I will get better results, which is super awesome. So would I recommend? 100%.
Just finished the Thrive as a Leader challenge, and before the challenge I was a bit hesitant and a bit jaded but my leadership style and how I could help more people and making a bigger impact out there, and the challenge for me that now that I've finished it, I feel a lot more confident and more excited for the future in terms of the people I want to help, the people I want to serve, and the type of leader I want to be as well. Okay, so for anyone out there, they're looking to upgrade their leadership skills, learn a bit more about the communication skills and how they can make a difference to the people they lead and the people they serve. Definitely come and check it out and see if we can, give some tips, hints, and ideas for what you're looking to do. So
I want to thank her for allowing me the opportunity.
Thank you.
So thank you very much to Candy for all the help and support.
Candy's able to guide your leadership growth by asking you some very tough questions that'll put you on the path to having even greater overall vision for your business. It's not always easy to think outside the box, especially by yourself, because we all have these blind spots, and that's why you'll be thrilled to have a coach like Candy.
And I really recommend her. If you're looking something beyond that, it's not normal, and you want to get deeper how to know yourself as a CEO, as a person, and all your surroundings, I really recommend her. She has a special gift for that.
Taking this course has definitely given me more confidence as far as with communication and allowed me to feel more empowered to grow. I definitely would recommend this. It was very informative and it was very enjoyable, and you gotta love Candy. Thank you.